Good morning, and welcome once again to our business community discussions that we do every Thursday morning right here on the Alpha Media YouTube channel and also the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page. We like for these to be an interactive show, so if you're online with us and want to drop a comment or question, feel free to do that. We'll try to make it part of the show. It can show up right here live on the screen as well. So we're excited about today's program. We're going to be getting into some great stuff. We're going to be talking with Megan Kruse, work-based learning coordinator with Iowa Central Community College. And we'll get into all the details with what they're doing in just a moment. But first, let's bring on our regular contributing guests. We have Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market and Digital. Good morning.
Good morning. And yes, I have a clone right beside me here. Not really. This is Rachel Copper, and she is our intern for the summer. So you're going to be seeing her quite a bit. She's doing business communication and media at Augustana University, and we're excited to have her here. She started this week. So
intern's a great addition. A lot of us do those during the summer. We'll be having some of our broadcast interns starting here in a few weeks as well. So we're excited for that. So welcome. That's great. Let's also bring on Darcy Swan from North Central Iowa's SBDC. Good morning, Darcy.
Good morning. That is a mouthful to say this early in the morning, isn't it?
Well, I started rattling it off. You know, it's sort of rote memory at this point, and then I kind of got in my head, and I went, "Am I doing that right? Is that something?"
Yeah.
Right.
No, it sounds good. I'm happy to be here today. It looks like a great show. So as they all are. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. We're excited to find out more about it. But let's go ahead and get to it. Let's bring Megan on and talk about some of the things that they're doing. So, Megan, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, thanks for allowing me to be on today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you and learn a little bit more about kind of some of the things that you guys have going on. But before we get into all the programs, give us a little bit of kind of details on what does a work-based learning coordinator do? What is that?
Yep. So my official title is work-based learning, but we are intermediaries. So all the community colleges, all 15 of them have a me or several of me's. It just kind of depends on the location. So and I apologize, I should have brought my map up. We could have done that slide now I'm thinking about it. But so what we typically do is we go into schools and we set up the job shadows, the mock interviews, internships. We bring businesses in and they can do any kind of guest speaking, or we take the students to a business for a business tour. Also, we do a lot of career days. So we invite businesses and our Iowa Central instructors to do career discovery days on our Iowa Central campuses. And then throughout the year, we do a lot of different presentations in the schools. It's kind of whatever the schools are seeking, whatever their needs are. We do social media awareness. We do a lot of resume building. That kind of coincides with the mock interviews. And then we also do anything, like I said, upon request. So we're all over. There's a lot of us in Iowa. We right now are working together to create things. When COVID hit, we couldn't, of course, get into the schools and the businesses as much. So we turned virtual. We still do a lot of virtual, but now we're getting back into the face-to-face. So we kind of work together, all of us 15 colleges, and we've been very successful with a lot of our business connections. So yeah, that's what we do.
That's great. So what sort of spawns obviously there's a great need for this. We've been talking about, last week our entire program was about jobs and the need for employers are looking for employees. And we were talking about finding a job and finding the right employee. You're sort of working this from the other end, yep. from the student perspective. What is the discussion look like when you start talking with schools about the need for these sorts of programs? What are the schools saying when you have those discussions?
There's a huge need. A lot of our schools that we work with, we find that the students, it might be a small community, but they have no idea what's in their small community. A lot of them don't even know what's in Fort Dodge, even the Fort Dodge students that are here. So we hear a lot from the teachers, especially, and counselors that we work with, but we hear we need to get them out more in the community or we need to get the businesses in more, just because the awareness is not there. They might for example, they might think criminal justice is one thing, but there's so much that makes up criminal justice, and that's everything. That's the health, world, that's manufacturing. They only know what they know, right? And they only typically know what mom and dad or their guardians have taught them growing up. So very limited resources until we came along. So we're able to do anything with the schools typically. So yeah, there's a lot of discussion. We're trying to get more schools to, not every school uses us as much as we would like. And then not every business will use us. So we're really trying to get both involved, trying to connect them both. And then they can forever be connected. And the teachers always have that, business resource, vice versa. So.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of curious, some behind the scenes things here. Like, for instance, your mandate to work with the schools and things like that, does that come from Iowa Central, or is this more of a state program? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, good question. So I'm grant-based. Every year I apply for a grant, and then, so we work for the state. We're housed at Iowa Central. So I follow both rules, basically. But yeah, it is state. So it's kind of the big picture. We're all told, here are your duties, but then we can make it our own because, of course, 15 different community colleges, all of our areas look totally different. All of our communities have different needs. Our schools, businesses have totally different needs. So we kind of just take what we're told that we need to do, and we make it our own and make it what works for us in our area. So yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. So let's move into kind of moving to the virtual thing, because I think we're still discussing just as businesses how that worked for each of us. So when you're looking at it from your perspective, that had to have been difficult because, I mean, how does one do a job shadow virtually, right?
Yeah. There was a lot of us, all the INs from all the colleges. We were super nervous. We're like, oh, like many of us, a lot of employers in schools, we're like, where does this leave us for our job? Because we're so hands-on. We're in the schools meeting with the students, doing presentations. We're in the businesses, and then we were stuck, for a year, and still are a little stuck doing only virtual. So it was interesting. We adapted well. A virtual job shadow, a lot of the students were like, what am I going to do? So it was interesting, but it worked out really well. A lot of the businesses, I can't thank the businesses enough in our community. There were so many that had never used Zoom. They didn't know what virtual was. They don't typically, take their cell phone or a computer and do a live tour of their manufacturing facility or whatever it is. A lot of them stepped up to the plate. We would reach out to them and say, hey, we need to get the student in for a job shadow, or hey, can we get this manufacturing classroom into your business virtually? So we had a lot of businesses who would, do pre-recorded videos, like tours of their facility, or take us live, like on a Zoom. They'd walk around and show us. So thank you to all the businesses for doing that, because it still allowed the students to get education that they needed and to get into the businesses. And then also we took it into the schools too. So we provided the schools a lot of recordings of different businesses. We had mock interviews, which is really tough. We did those virtual. We kind of did, we didn't, there was nothing we couldn't do. We made everything work. But yeah, the job shadows and internships were very, very interesting. It was more of a struggle to get them to pay attention on a Zoom for that long. So, but it worked. We did it.
It sounds a lot like a big piece of your job is teaching our children just what is available here in our community and in our region. What are some of the businesses or maybe areas that you find that there's a real lack, where people just don't know that these sorts of careers even exist?
Yeah, that's good. It kind of depends. There's a lot of smaller, I grew up in the Gowrie Callender area. So it was Prairie Valley, now Southeast Valley. I'm not going to lie, growing up, I didn't even know what was in Gowrie like that. I find that still happens. Although there are quite a few businesses in Gowrie, but a lot of students have no idea, and they're right there. They live right there. So a lot of smaller communities we find, We've been working with South Hamilton. They're a wonderful school. The Jewel area, a lot of their students didn't know what was right downtown in Jewel. So just getting them exposed, we find that a lot with the smaller communities. Even in Fort Dodge, like I said earlier, our Fort Dodge students don't always know what's here. There's a lot that I still am learning that, is downtown in different businesses. So I think there's a lot of areas are on board. There's a lot of schools that like to keep their students just in their area, to where when I get in, I say, no, let's broaden it. Let's go other places. Let's get them in different parts of Iowa. Let's get them in Fort Dodge to see what's in Fort Dodge. Let's show them what there is out there. Not that we want to take them away from jobs, but we want to give them, a variety of what they can do. And then also in their town too. But yes, so it would amaze you how many, students they truly have no idea what's out there. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine being in a school and sort of going, "What's gypsum? What is that?" I can just sort of see that moment happening. But there are a lot of industries and a lot of sectors that you can find, not just here in Fort Dodge, but even in the smaller communities. And I think of in a lot of ways, even the technology industry and sector, you can find that even in the smaller communities.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And that still blows my mind too. That, I still don't know all what's in our small communities, but every time we get over there and knock on those, we make a lot of cold calls, but we also knock on the doors of the businesses and meet them and tell them what we are able to do. And it blows my mind how many awesome businesses are out there that people just don't know about.
Yeah.
One thing that's really resonating from your conversation is talking about getting that engagement and that relationship with the students at a very young age so that they have a better idea. It used to be, it was your junior and senior year. That was when they, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then you were deciding, well, I'm going to go get a degree and whatever. And that's what I'm going to do. And then chances are you got done and did that for 2 years and you didn't do that degree anymore. But what you're doing is actually getting them hands-on. And not only the students are getting that relationship, but the employers are, because that's giving them a totally different perspective as to what their future employees are going to be like out there, and getting that relationship and working with a younger group of people.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Cheryl. Absolutely. It's amazing. I look at success stories that I submit every year, and a lot of the high school 9th through 12th grade, a lot of the time it is the older students, but a lot of the time they make that connection with that business and it turns into a job. And that is amazing for both sides of it. So, if a job shot or internship, or even when a business goes in, or if you go in for a tour, that connection is so strong sometimes that it amazes me that it turns into a job. A forever thing, for the student, they always have that contact. But yes, and we do try to get into the lower grades. Right now, the grant is very heavy based on high school to where it is K through 12. We do things in the middle schools, but also we do occasional things in the elementary. We're trying to get allowance to be able to do the younger, because I agree with you. We've got to start younger. We just have to. I think by 8th grade, most schools do an assessment, and they want their student to know kind of what they want to do when you grow up. Well, at 8th grade, how do you know that, So we do need to get the businesses in, or, get more exposure and get that connection going at an earlier age. So.
Yeah, that's great. So some of these things that you guys are doing, these career days and things like that, I'm guessing a lot of the career days were obviously more difficult during virtual days and things like that. Are you looking to head back to doing some of these career days on an in-person basis? Is that in the cards moving forward?
Yes, it is. We are so excited. So starting in the fall, usually it's around October, until about May, we are going to do face-to-face again this year. So it's really neat. All of Region 5 is invited. That's my region who I work with, and it's the high schools. So I can't wait to see those yellow buses again coming into our campus. It's very exciting. So yes, hopefully everything will be more hands-on, but we still will we'll live stream all of our career days and all of our events, just in case, there are going to be some schools that have told us that until, they know more, especially in the fall, starting out, they're not going to let their students attend. And that's okay. We can still do things virtual with those who can't come right away. So.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you say that, because I think all of us found that we were, pushed forcibly into adjusting our business and becoming more mobile and virtual in a lot of ways. But I think, at least for me, we found that, a lot of those were pretty effective, and we're going to keep some of those methods moving forward. And it sounds like you will as well.
Absolutely. It's so beneficial. I think we've all have grown in what we can do and what we can make work. So virtual, it's not a bad thing. I'm ready to do more hands-on.
Yeah. So I'm taking a look at, resumes, and I'm doing so right now. We're in the middle of a hiring process, just like, most businesses are out there. And I gotta say, there's all these different methods of getting resumes. One of those is, Facebook, social media. You can certainly get a lot of resumes. And my big complaint about that has always been, they are the worst resumes, and they are the worst job leads you could ever get through social media. When you guys go in and work with resumes, what's the reaction like with some of those students as you begin working through some of those resumes, and here's how you build one and things like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. We always laugh about that. So Jessica Kavanaugh, is at Iowa Central, and she's our career service person for the college. And so she has a really cool resume building on the website. So I usually take the students, when we start building them, if they don't already have them done, I take them to our website and show her area. And they're able to click on a good website, a good resume, and build one correctly. However, yes, we do. I like how you said the Facebook and Google and whatnot. It is true. There's a lot of students who just don't know, and I didn't know then either. But they will Google a random resume. It'll have color all over it. They'll type in the spacing's off, the letters are too big, whatever it may be, don't have the right information. So it's always very interesting. We take businesses in with us, typically, to the schools to check resumes with us and teach the students about them. We see a lot of different resumes. And typically the students like to argue that, no, it's right. No, this is what I want. And I'm like, no, but this is what, you have raw businesses are telling you this raw information. And they're the ones who hire. They're telling you that this is not a good resume. Let's start over. Let's just edit it a little bit and go from there. So it is, and I will tell you, every business, I'm not going to name names, but all of them that we work with are totally different. There are some that still want references, and there are some that say no, references upon request. So just everyone's so different, from healthcare to manufacturing to ag. Everybody, every HR person that we work with is different. They all prefer a different resume. So in reality, you're never going to please everyone, in our opinions, but we still try to help them, build as good of one as they can, because what you find online is not good.
Yeah. I mean, so I got to admit, there's sometimes when I'm like, I got a resume. It's amazing. Yeah. So pretty neat that it's a great program that you guys are actually doing and assisting folks in saying, okay, how exactly do we do this? And how do we, moving forward, go, oh, this is how we build a resume. This is how we interact with the employers. And you're getting that raw data back. I just see that as so valuable for somebody just starting out their career.
Absolutely. The businesses are amazing to work with. They just know it, that's what they do. So it's very, very helpful. So yes.
Yeah. So this is a great comment. I wanted to bring it up from Eric White. Teacher called last night saying, thanks for the video. Kids really enjoyed it. So obviously you guys are making an impact with some of the schools there.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Eric. Yes. Eric, he's a great guy. We went and did a video for him, and we do a lot of videos. We'll go around and then we go to businesses or anywhere. We went to the Fort Dodge area, all the schools the other day, and made a business of what it's like to be a teacher. So typically we can go anywhere, and then we push it to the schools. It's really cool. And then they're able to see it and use it. The teachers can use it at any time during the year. So thanks, Eric. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, neat program. I wanted to go back to job shadowing for just a moment, because I think it's something that you guys are probably going to be getting back to in a live format. How important are those job shadows to the high school students as they're prepping for what career they'd like to attend?
Very, very important. I always tell every student I work with, I wish I would have had a job shadow. My path was not, I did not go for education, and here I sit. So a lot of money and time, into other things that they can learn at an early age. An example I always give the students is we work with a lot of students who think they want to do this, this, and this, and that's okay. You can have all these backups, but let's get you a job shadow in each one. We've had a lot of job shadows. They say go bad. There is not a bad job shadow. If you go and it doesn't go the way you think and you don't like it, that is not bad. That is a win. That is successful, because you find out that that's not what I want to do. And that's good. So move on, do your next job shadow, pick your next, decision. So that's really cool to see the success in them realizing, oh, I don't want to do that. And then they find what they want to do. And then once they find what they want to do, let's do another one in that same field or that same career area and see if that's truly what you like. So job shadows are crucial now these days. So are internships, basically the same thing. Internships are just longer and sometimes paid. But I would like to say to the businesses, let us in, let us do job shadows. There's still a lot of businesses who will not open their doors to do a job shadow. And we get it. Their safety, they have their safety concerns and whatnot, but get involved, let the students in, or meet with them via Zoom, or, we need to make that connection for both sakes. There's a lot of now hiring signs out there. So job shadows, they help with that. You make that connection and it can get a student's foot in the door, a potential job if it goes well.
Yeah. Now, are the schools open to multiple job shadows? I just remember, it's been a few moons ago, right? But it was like you got one job shadow in high school and that's sort of what you got. So are you seeing that the schools are open to multiple job shadows and things like that?
I'm not going to lie. It depends on the school. There are some schools that you go on a job shadow or you go to a career event of ours and they count it as a college visit, or they only let you out once. But then there are some schools that are like, yeah, get them out. They can do 2 or 3 job shadows. They can go to a career day. They can do, which is amazing. That's what they need. They need to get out of those white walls. They need to get out. So it just depends what area. We're trying to broaden that. We're trying to work with the schools to make them realize, the value and the importance of it. But yeah, good question. It totally depends. And honestly, the job shadows can be, I always tell the businesses, it can be any amount of time. It can be several days, or it can just be, 1 to 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours, or a whole day. Sometimes the businesses like them there the whole day. It's good help. So kind of depends. Yep.
Well, there's another program that you guys are sort of getting ready to go again, and it's the Middle School Link program. So let's talk about the Link program, next generation of leaders. What is this all about?
Yeah, so the Link program has been around actually before my time here at Iowa Central. I don't know if it's been 6 years. It's been a handful of years that it's been around. So what it was originally was a business would go in to a classroom in the middle school, which was at the time 5th through 8th grade. We would connect a business with a teacher, and then the business would try to get in as many times into that classroom as they could. We encouraged 2 to 4 times. They would go in, educate the students about what they do, where they're located, what education they need to do that job, basically just connecting them. They could take prizes in, take games in, or they could take them on a tour to their business. So it was kind of throughout the year, letting, that classroom would build that relationship with the employer. Over the years, we've changed it, and then this year is going to be totally different. We're still working out the details, but as of right now, we're seeking businesses who are interested in the Link program. It is amazing. This year, we are wanting to connect several different businesses with pods. From my understanding, the pods are basically, there's a 6th grade pod, 7th grade pod, and 8th grade pod. And 5 different classrooms make up that pod. So for like 8th grade, if I connected a business with the 8th grade pod, then that business would go in 5 different times throughout the year and talk to all of those different classrooms. So what awesome exposure is that? That's just amazing for the students, amazing for the business. And then we are going to try to get those same students out to tour some of these businesses. So I'm currently searching for businesses. So if you're watching this or hearing this and you want to participate, do it. It's awesome. I mean, we give you questions. We help you with the talking points when you go in. It's just an awesome connection. And what the students, and not only the students, but the teachers gain is amazing. So yes.
Can you share with us a little bit about maybe some of the businesses who have done this in the past and what their experience has been coming out of it?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't have my business list, so I'm probably gonna leave someone out. But I know Cargill is one of our really good partners in this. Matt typically goes into 8th grade. And I know John Newman, the teacher, they made a really good connection. It was amazing. The communication was there. Cargill went in. And it's lasted. He's stuck out with us. A lot of businesses are skeptical because it's a lot of time for them, to go into the school. And honestly, it's sometimes you get the younger grades and you need patience. So kudos to the businesses who can go in, and do that, because our kiddos they're not always on task, but we do try to prep the students, and the teachers do really awesome with that. So I'd say Cargill is a really big one. I don't have my list, but I guess I can maybe pull it up here and share some of them, give them a little kudos here. But we've had a lot that have stuck with us, and we really do appreciate it, because without you, we wouldn't have this program still up and running. But we are looking for some new businesses, just because, we want as many as we can get in the school. The Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance, Main Street Fort Dodge Ford, they're always really good. ISU Extension, the Messenger, they're always very interesting. Iowa Central does go into Webster County Conservation, Iowa Workforce, Nestle is a big one. Roe Johns Construction, the City of Fort Dodge, CJ Bio, Citizens Credit Union, Elanco. We have a lot of attorneys and just like small businesses. So Darcy, maybe you can help us with that if you know of a small business that wants to come in. Woodruff Construction, First Presbyterian Church, like I said, Cargill, New Co-op, Chemna, Unity Point, Friendship Haven has in the past, as of Decker Truck Line. The Fort Dodge Police Station and Fire Station, or Children's Family of Iowa, DSOC, and then there's a lot of other ones we've been trying to get. So that's just a shout out to some of those that have stuck with us throughout the years. We really do appreciate it. So if you guys know any businesses.
Yeah, it's really neat, and I think the way that we think about recruiting is changing, especially with as competitive as the market is today. I think it really does need to change. We do need to start thinking about, okay, let's start these relationships with potential employees much, much earlier, because if we're trying to do it in that, junior, senior year, it may be too late. And I'm always, thinking about ways that we go in, especially in the radio industry, and go, how do we market radio to these students? It's funny because for many years, radio was sort of on the outs, I guess I want to say, with students, because they saw it as an older technology, an older medium, those sorts of things. TV was the darling, because you got to use video and you get to be seen. And we've actually seen in the last few years, there's been a major resurgence. The Iowa Central radio program doing extremely well this year. And part of the reason for that being that podcasting and audio usage is sort of bringing back the audio format. And so it's one of those things where you really have to be having these conversations, not just with potential employees today, but future potential employees, and almost advocating for your industry becoming part of our jobs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that about the radio. That's really interesting. We have a lot of students that are interested in that. So if you guys want to partner, let us know.
Yeah, let's talk for sure.
It is pretty cool. So
yeah, it's neat. So okay, Link program. You're saying that is that going to be going again this coming year? Are you sort of putting that together and looking for partners right now for the coming year?
Yep, the school and I have talked, and they're going to get the teachers on board. And I sent out an email just a couple days ago, and we're we're in the works right now seeking businesses. So anyone has one, absolutely reach out to me.
Great. That's perfect. So, yeah, there's just so much going on with you guys, and definitely a K through 12 program that I didn't even know existed. Right. So, here we are finding things in our own backyard that we didn't even maybe know we're a part of it. So thanks so much for joining us today and sharing all these details with us. What a great thing you're doing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we're going to change gears just a little bit, but if you want to stay on, we'd love it if you stayed on. You're more than welcome to stay on as long as you like, but if you have to run, we certainly understand that as well.
Thank you.
So Darcy, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys have coming up. You've got a QuickBooks guru to help folks when they need it.
We do, and we are so excited. We have a lot of small businesses that are using QuickBooks, maybe struggling with how to categorize items or how to pull reports. Some, are just setting it up and want to make sure they get it set up correctly. We do offer QuickBooks classes. We have throughout the years. We're working on some future ones. But really that one-on-one instruction for just a couple of hours, it seems to be kind of that little sweet spot that we haven't been able to hit or, fulfill the need. So we do have a gal, and she is going to be providing QuickBooks assistance, and we've already got her pretty booked right now, which is awesome. She's working with several of my clients here at the center as well as Kimberly's, and we are just super excited to have her. So if a business is struggling, maybe just needs a couple of questions answered or some one-on-one instruction for a couple of hours, call our center. My number is 515-574-1996. You can get a hold of Kimberly Tiefenthaler, our regional director. Her number is 515-574-1995. And we can set up an appointment and provide you with that assistance. So that's a huge win for us. We're super excited about that.
Do you find that, a lot of people starting a small business, it's like, maybe I've worked as a mechanic for a number of years and I go, I want to start my own business. I want to open my own garage. And I know how to turn the wrench. I know how to do those things. And maybe that financial piece of running those books is the piece that folks need a lot of help with.
Absolutely. And we encourage a lot of folks to surround yourself with good people, right? So maybe your talent isn't the financial piece. You're that guru, like you said, in the shop. So there's nothing wrong with hiring it out. Or hiring somebody internal to do it for you that has that skill set so that you can focus on the things that are going to matter most. And but you're absolutely right. And we're putting together right now, we just had this conversation yesterday, actually. I've been working with a gentleman out of one of our other centers on some marketing workshops. And one of the things we did was a website platform analysis. So, which platform's the right one for me? And they're not all right depending on what you're trying to do and who you are. So we're going to do something similar to what he did for that with the different kinds of financial programs out there. So if it's QuickBooks or if it's Wave Apps or, there's other ones out there, FreshBooks, different ones like that. So we're going to put together some information that we can give to our clients to help them better pick the right type of platform for their business. We kind of are doing that a little bit with the POS systems as well. Square is the beast, but it's not right for everyone. And so, you really, if you're a niche business, Square's probably, it's worth looking into, but it may not be right for you. I had a client who was 3/4 of the way through setting up her website through Weebly, which is the Square platform. And she was a quilt shop, and, she doesn't sell, necessarily whole units. It could be 1/4 of a unit or 1/8 of a unit. And she was really struggling. And so she ended up leaving and going to a different platform that was made specific for what she's trying to do. And so we want to eliminate some of those issues that clients have because it gets very frustrating. And, a small business owner wears, 17 hats. They're out there doing purchasing and HR and sales and, repair work and customer service and everything else. Or the janitor, they're the office runner. They do all of that. And so if we can eliminate some of that time, that may be wasted in situations like that, we want to do that. So we'll be working on that. And when we have that done, I'll be sure to share that on here so we can get that out to folks. The other couple of things I just wanted to mention, they started our state office, I think I've been mentioning this the last couple of weeks, has been promoting their pricing and retail strategy workshops, and it's every Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning. So they had their first one this week on pricing strategies, and it was awesome. Tom Shea of Profits Plus is the gentleman who's conducting those webinars for us. We have it out on our Facebook page. So if you're interested, go under our events. And it is free. Next week, June 8th at 8:30, they're going to talk about stop giving away your profit. And we know a lot of business owners don't necessarily have a really good handle sometimes on what should my margins be. And so we want to work with them to make them profitable. And so this will be a great webinar on the 8th. So we encourage everyone to go to that. They also are doing one on the 15th. The cost of holding debt inventory, and then June 22nd, the science and art of buying. So some really good, no cost educational opportunities out there. And I think we've talked about that on this show too, where there's a lot of resources and opportunities out there that aren't going to cost a fortune, but are really going to help your business. And the SBDC is a great resource for a lot of those. So I also wanted to bring up, and this just came out this week, but the SBA, which we're kind of a branch of that in a sense, they are going to be doing a webinar series called Getting Back on Track, Help is Here. And it's geared towards small business owners and managers. It's going to cover a wide gamut of information, learning about taking advantage of the new and existing programs that are available through the SBA. An update regarding programs and recent policy announcements made by the Biden-Harris administration. You can talk directly with SBA leadership to get your questions answered. There's also going to be a business digital resource toolkit that's going to be unveiled during that as well. The sessions start June 3rd and they run through August, and they're breaking them down by regions, but you can attend any of them. But the nice thing about attending the one for your region is that there are going to be guest speakers from your area that will be speaking. So it may pull in something more relevant to what's going on in your community. The one for Iowa is slated for July 15th. And we'll get that information out on our Facebook page as well. So if anyone is interested in learning more, they can go out there and register for that. And there is no cost for that either. So another great resource. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up is, I know I say it every week, but really want to let folks know that we have those wonderful photo boxes available. We're out delivering them throughout our counties. If your community doesn't have one or you're not aware of what's going on, call our center and we can let you know if it's been delivered or if you're slated to get one here pretty soon. The ones for Fort Dodge, we've got a bunch here at our center, but we also have two that Chris Patrick has down there at her office. And that'll make it easy for downtown retailers to be able just to swing by, and we just loan it out. There's no cost, and you just use it to help upgrade your photos for your website. Maybe it's an online store, maybe it's your social media. And it's a great opportunity for businesses to kind of get a better online presence. So yeah, again, another resource at no cost.
Yeah, for folks who aren't sure exactly what that photo box does, I mean, you've probably been online and you've always wondered, how do they get those pictures of all their items that they're a perfectly white background and they don't have any shadows and hiding in the glares. Well, this is how they do it, right? And so a neat thing to just be able to have right there, the lighting's already a part of it and a piece and ready to go for you. So really simple way to make those items look great. And if I remember right, Darcy, Shop Iowa has been extended. So if you haven't had an opportunity to sell a few items online, Shop Iowa is a great way to dip your toe in.
It is a great way. And, it came about because of the pandemic, and the Iowa Economic Development Authority jumped on board and said, hey, we got to do something to help these small businesses have an online presence since their front door is closed, right? And so that program evolved and they have extended it. It'll be extended through June of next year, so June of 2022 for sure. I heard there may be something in the works to extend it a little longer, but right now it's June of 2022. You get up to 25 items at no cost. And the real goal there is to bring Main Street online. So if you really like shopping in those wonderful little communities, and there's so many really neat, unique stores, maybe you're from a certain community and you moved away and you want to support those businesses, you can still shop with them and do it online. Or maybe you're looking for something very unique and special. Maybe it's an Iowa gift that you want to take or send to someone. You can search by category or like item or by community. And so the photo box is a great way for you to get your products to look their very best on a program like that. And again, there's no cost. I said for up to 25, I think I said that. And so folks will be able to have that many items on there, and then it's a minimal fee for items after. But it's a great way to see if, people want to order and come pick it up, or do they want to order it and have it shipped? The Shop Iowa team is phenomenal, and we also have resources here at our center to work with businesses and helping them get online as well. So it's a great opportunity to, like you said, Jed, get your toes dipped in the water to see if online sales is something that you want to expand into going forward. So.
Yeah.
I just got an announcement that Shop Iowa has been extended to North Dakota now.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So that just came across my LinkedIn feed.
Oh, fantastic. Great.
Yeah, Sherry was just announcing that they have worked with the SBDC in North Dakota. And
that's awesome. Yay. And one other thing too about those photo boxes, if you are not someone who feels that you have the talent to take a photo, your finger's always in front of the lens or whatever, we do have folks here at the center who can work with you. And then there is also a wonderful guide that comes with the photo box, and it's all folded up and it's compact. So when you're not using it, it's not going to take up space, and then it pops open and there's lights and everything. But the guide will show you exactly, step by step how to set it up, and then tips for taking really good photos. So, we're not just handing you a box or a tool and saying, here, try to use this. We really provide a lot of good instruction on it as well.
Great.
Yeah.
And I know the folks, Chris over at Main Street Fort Dodge, if you have questions, she's absolutely there to help. So.
Yep, absolutely. And I made sure we got her those as soon as they came in here to our center. I got down there right away and gave them to her, because I know there's so many businesses in the Fort Dodge downtown area specifically. So I wanted to get those resources in the hands of those business owners. And like I said, we're out delivering. I'm working on Hamilton County right now. Kimberly is working on the Carroll region. And then we've had other partners helping us deliver throughout other places as well. So, and then Kimberly and I are tackling Webster County. So we're getting them out there.
That's great. Okay, well, before we go, let's talk quickly with Cheryl, because I know you're always busy over there. You're bringing in interns for the summer. So, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to as we head into the summer season?
Well, that is, yes. Of course, we introduced Rachel here just a little bit ago. She's our intern for the summer. And Megan, we did hire 2 interns from Iowa Central here. So yeah, there you go. They interned with us, and we brought them on after they got done with school in May. So really excited about that. Yeah, lots of fun things going on. It's been very interesting. I've been contacted by several SHRMs to do programs here talking about digital and hiring. So I think that's really interesting. I think I've got 4 of them that are scheduled in the next 3 months that have asked me to speak at their monthly SHRM meetings. So out of the blue, I wasn't reaching out to them, but they contacted, whether they saw our show last week or whatever, I don't know, but been getting calls on that. Of course, we're busy doing a variety of campaigns. Got Rachel she's working on the Pick It Up Fort Dodge campaign and public relations on that. Just a variety of things. Did a podcast a couple months ago, and it just dropped yesterday. So I've been getting a lot of emails and contacts off of that. So I'm really excited to see how that one goes. You can go to our website and our Facebook page, and it's under Conquer Local, and with George Leaf talking about digital marketing and you as a business owner. So that was exciting as well. Got contacted by the Realtors Association for the state of Iowa about doing some campaigns. I mean, just, you just never know. Every day, just people are figuring it out. That's the way it is, and get information out there. Never a dull moment here at our office. Looking forward to a lot of other projects. And hey, if you're listening out there and you've got somebody that's looking for an internship, we did a job shadow. We had a job shadow girl from West Bend, spent an entire day here about a month ago. And I know my staff's going, what do we do for a whole day with her? And I said, just do what you do, because that's what they want to see. And you're not here to entertain them. You're here to show them what's going on. So give them the story and what you're doing and that type of thing. So lots of exciting things. Really looking forward to a great summer and doing a bunch of other things out there. And of course, never have a dull time with finding people to participate in this program as well. So excited to keep that going. Actually, Rachel is working on filling the spots every week for the next all summer. So she'll be coming up with exciting things. Public relations, she needs to be out there and about. And this is a great way for her to meet people and hear of different things out there as well. I mean, finding out what's in our community. She's actually from the Clare area, but I'm sure she's already finding out some exciting things out there as well. So,
yeah, you brought up podcasts. We launched yet another new podcast for Alpha Media last week. It's not marketed towards me. I'll be the first to admit it. But having previewed the show, I think a lot of folks are going to like it. It's actually an online book club or a podcast.
Yes, I heard
book
that.
club.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a neat little podcast for women. One of our DJs kind of spearheaded this thing, and listening in, I think a lot of folks are going to like it. So podcasting, yeah, a neat thing. Glad you're doing one as well. So
yeah, well, it was really it's fun, and you just never know what's going to happen off of it, guys. So don't. It's like Zoom.
There you go.
Well, we Zoom our life away here.
Well, next week's show, I guess we have Rachel to thank for this. We have Ethan Becker with Dungeons and Dodgers, who's going to be on, and we'll be talking with Carrie Kuiper, Executive Director of the Fort Dodge Convention and Visitors Bureau as well. So lots of great guests coming up as we head into the summer, and so looking forward to seeing all of those folks as well. And we'll be talking with those folks next week. So great show coming up next week. We do these shows 9 a.m. right here on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page. You can also catch us on the Alpha Media YouTube channel. It is interactive, as you saw earlier in the show. So make your comments, make some questions, and we'll talk about whatever it is that's on your mind as you watch these shows. So also be sure to share it with your friends if there's anything in here that you found interesting, or maybe there's a business that you know of that would benefit from doing some job shadows or some teaching in the schools. Just share that along so that they can see it, and you can give them a little nudge to get a hold of Megan as well. So everybody, thanks for being a part of the show. Our regular contributors, of course, Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market and Digital. Always from SBDC, we have either Kimberly Tiefenthaler or Darcy Swan. Always good to have them. Usually we're able to get with Chris Patrick, the Executive Director of Main Street Fort Dodge. She's been busy this week and unable to make it, so we'll look forward to hearing from her once again when the show kicks off. And of course, I'm Jed Burns, the Market Manager here at Alpha Media of Fort Dodge. We'll see you again next week, 9 a.m. right here on the Alpha Media YouTube channel and Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you then.